East, in some places, you could argue the fighting has never really stopped. But I should say that for the Americans, the First World War began in 1917 because they waited a couple of years before getting involved. What triggered World War I? Well, World War I started because, well, primarily because it was a world of empires, it was a world of wars, it was a world of competition and rivalry. War was seen as natural and even good. Some people wanted wars. Too many people believed that winning wars would make you rich and strong and safe and happy. So the world was basically a powder keg. But there was a very particular spark that blew the whole thing up, and that was the murder of a man called Franz Ferdinand. He was the heir. He was the next in line to rule the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And the Austro-Hungarians controlled a big empire that ruled lots of Eastern and Central Europe. Now, he was killed. He was assassinated by terrorists or freedom fighters, depending on your particular allegiance. They wanted to liberate their homeland, Bosnia. They wanted to liberate it from the Austrian Empire, and they wanted to join up with their next door neighbours, Serbia, because they were ethnic Serbians. They didn't want to be part of the Austrian Empire. Now, the Austrians were furious at this, and they threatened the Serbians with war in retaliation. So the Serbians went to their big ally, Russia, big superpower in the East, and Russia said, fine, we've got your back. So the Austrians went to their big ally, Germany, and the Germans were like, yeah, fine, we got your back. In fact, we're probably going to end up fighting Russia at some stage. So let's do it now. Let's have it. It was a terrible decision. The Russians then checked in with their allies, Germany's other next door neighbour in the West, the French, and the French said, fine, we're with you, Russia. So everyone was gearing up for war, and Germany decided to strike first. Germany struck into France to knock them out before turning east to deal with the Russians. And to trick the French, they attacked with their neighbour Belgium, which was neutral. But then Britain went, well, hang on, you can't just go invading neutral countries. We've sort of given a guarantee to Belgium that we'll protect them. And so Britain declared war on Germany. And with Britain came Britain's massive empire. Canada, India, Nigeria, South Africa, Australia, all those countries all brought into the war against Germany. To beat the British, the Germans sent fleets of submarines that sank ships heading towards British ports. They sank some American ships, and that eventually got America to declare war on Germany as well. By that stage, nearly the entire world was in it, hence the term World War I. Phew, that was a mouthful. Right, next one. Which countries were involved in World War I? Essentially two big power blocks. Primarily, Germany, Austria-Hungary, some other little allies in Southeast Europe, and the Turkish Ottoman Empire that controlled the Middle East. That was one big group. On the other side, you've got Russia, France and its empire, Britain and its empire, and eventually the Americans, well, but including